Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Hi. My name is JCS, the owner, founder, ruler, grand poobah of OCWFED and its dwindling, ever so dwindling subsidiaries. Listener discretion is strongly advised. This is not a desk. I had, ironically, a moment of free time before commentary. Remainders. And I figured I should take this opportunity to perhaps give my 3 cents on predictions potentially for the prevailing event. Is prevailing the right word? Probably not. The 21-year anniversary of OCWFED, and that is not hyperbole. It's literally 21 years and probably 100 and something dozen hours. Is hyperbole the right word? I don't know. I'm not an English major. Feel free to quantify that in any capacity. Anywho, yeah, we got 14 matches. Not my brightest, shiniest hour. So I'm just going to give some my down-home predictions. And mind you, with these predictions, it's going to be less about the how's the word go? Like character-driven stuff, but more so the technical aspect of the endeavors between you folks. So keep that in mind if you want to have any thoughts regarding that. So in no particular order, honestly, we can start with Ike, aka Ike Udoka, and Broseph Vanderbilt III. The records speak for themselves, fairly even, as a matter of fact. Matter of fact, let me just double check that so I don't sound like a stupid asshole. It's the beauty of our cage match app. If you didn't notice, it's OCWFED.TV, OCW Stats Cage Match. Basically lets you know about the wrestlers involved. Let's see, Ike Udoka. Do we have a comparison utility? That would be sweet. I don't think we do, but I believe. Let's see. Yeah, we got to get that functionality to do like a tail to tape. Mark that down for young Master Daniel, so we can add a tail of the tape, perhaps. Anyway, so Ike Udoka, off the top of my head, looks like he's had 7 matches in season 20, and for the most part he's 2-3 in singles and 0-1 in tag and 0-1 in multi-person matches. As a matter of fact, after looking at this, I'm just going to not even include all of this statistical breakdown because that's going to take me way too long, and I didn't plan on that. So I'm just going to go with Feelycraft thoughts. And in this case, Broseph is 6 matches for this season, 0-5 with a very not good record. So we have the stats in place, so we'll just call it like this. I think that size-wise and skill-wise, the edge most definitely goes to Ike Udoka. Sorry, Broseph. It be like that sometimes. Jinx versus Marcus McMichaels for the international championship. This is a this one's actually a harder one to digest. Obviously, both men have impressive records that I'm not going to look up after looking up the previous records and being annoyed by all the typing I had to do. I will say the last time they're basically 1-1, more or less, in the standards of OCW. This one's gonna go down to the wire, I think. And it's really difficult to call this. I'll give the edge to Jinx only because he learns as he goes. That's pretty much all there is to it. And a slight edge. Honestly, if this was Vegas size, they would be pretty much like, well, y'all get in your bag and you'll be like, oh, champions are gonna win. But we've seen that's not always the case. So I'm going to go with Jinx by a smidgy poo. We got Ashley and Scotty. Ashley is a 3-time champion, the first Pride champion. Highly decorated 2-time future investment holder. Scotty is Scotty. Technique-wise, I think Ashley has this by a significant margin. However, there could be shocks, and that would destroy the economy. And I am here for destroying the economy whenever possible. I love. Nothing makes me happier as a community owner, Twitch, JCS, whatever you call it, than seeing everybody put money on a sure bet, and then just that money goes away or goes to just one poor son of a bitch. So I'm going to give the edge to Ashley, but the upset would be delightful. And as it's been said, hey, it's 50-50, right? I don't fucking know. You got John Carter versus Leo Parker. Unsanctioned. Next on my brain roster. John Carter, one of the single most, what's the word I'm looking for? I want to be polite, but I don't want to be too polite. But John basically has all of the tools and the technique. He has everything down pat. He has the single frame advantage with the wrestle bomb. But that being aside, he actually knows ball, to quote Junko Giroda. He's very proficient. He's very skilled, and he's very talented. You can look at his record. This season is kind of 50-50. Leo just came back, a.k.a. formerly Elliot Parker. Not the strongest tool in the shed. Or wait, not the sharpest tool in the shed. That's calling him... I don't mean to call him stupid, but you get where I'm going with it. And if you don't, too bad. Deal with it. This one, I'm going to give the edge to John. Even though there was a fantastic performance versus Jubei Giroda last week, if it was, I think it was last week, honestly, that showed out on Leo's behalf. But at the end of the day, John is John. John's only issue has always been, as I would say, and some other people would say, closing. Start strong, can maintain that, but then towards the end, gets a little confused. The road gets a little foggy-ish. So I'm giving the edge to John Carter. But again, like I said with Scotty, Leo, a.k.a. Elliot Parker, can pull off the upset. And anytime the economy dips, I am happy. Wow, I should make a political joke, but I won't do that. Marissa versus Cheryl. Marissa is incredibly dominant. Cheryl is not. We will see what happens. I don't think Cheryl's been... I think when's the last time Cheryl was booked in competitive? I'm not 100% sure. Either way, Marissa got the tools to pay the skills, if you will, to pay the bills. Again, that's not a knock on the opponents. It's just that's just how you look at it from the Vegas side. So that being said, I think Marissa's going to take this because Cheryl is not, say, like a Deborah or a Dragana or insert name here if you want, or an Ashley, if you will. Marissa went toe-to-toe with Ashley, and it was a competitive match down to the wire. I don't think Cheryl's at the Ashley level, so I'm gonna put the Vegas odds on Marissa. You got Christine versus Yana Hartfield. This is a debut, so we know absolutely jack F all about Yana Hartfield. So because it's Christine, and because it's a debut, I should just say it's going to go to Iana. Is it Liana Hartfield, whatever. So I'm going to put a question mark on that and just give it to Liana, but I could be wrong. But I'm just going to go by straight up. I know the handler, I guess. So maybe that would give the edge to Liana, but at the same token, We'll go Liana. Your mods may vary. 50-50 down the line on this one. Lobby versus Southern Dirty Cash for the OCW Tag Team Championships. What I do remember statistic-wise, SDC, I think it's 4. I think they only have 1 loss this season. That was the first match against the original Crash Out crew with Dangerous, Danny, Gesionike, and Sheldon. If y'all remember that match, I believe it was pretty... SDC was putting in work, but Wade got caught and Cade just kind of like... Actually, no. Cade had the advantage, and then he tagged in Wade, who was in danger, and Wade got caught, and Cade stared on, and, that's early tag team miscommunication that happens. Lobby is, by standards of OCW, legendary. 2 Grand Slam champions, one the oldest, and Paul Pugh. Russ Cole as one of the earlier ones. in OCW, or actually in the current times of OCW, if you will. Highly decorated, highly skilled Rust, champion on Rust Cole's a champion twice. Once with Quartz at CQC, that legendary run, and now with Paul Pugh. That being said, the smart money is on SDC. I think that's where the temperature on the socials, aka Discord and forum, is SDC. So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with SDC just because if you look who's involved in SDC, handler-wise, that's no knock on Pugh or Russ Cole, but them boys is dangerous. And then you also have the fact that Wade, it has a little giant buffer, which technically doesn't make a difference. But if you're someone who is proficient at this platform, aka medium, that will be a cause for concern, because you have to chip that out before you can do anything. So chipping that out when someone is skilled is even more difficult than someone who's just like, hey, and so I'm gonna give the money to SDC, and I'm sure everyone's gonna go for SDC. But again, I love seeing economy tanks. But yeah, we saw K versus Russ. That didn't end up well for Russ, so just multiply that by 2, and shame on you is the Brooklyn Zoo. All right, we got on the docket Deborah versus Pearl. This one I think can go honestly either way. This is another one that's hard to call 50-50. Look at both handlers' skill levels are very similarly. So if you want to use the 50-50 analogy, I will say Deborah. And again, that's similar to the Christiniana. It can go either way, in my opinion. I think the power advantage is gonna play into it, and I think the reach advantage significantly. You can battle roll all you want, but you're still gonna get caught, and we've seen that happen with Pro in the past, rolling to getting ass kicked. So that's my prediction. I could be wrong. Reader's choice. If you know, you know. Living legend Larry Muji versus Tony Everett. I think it's safe to say that most people will go for Tony Everett, and that would not be a bad assessment given Tony's previous pedigree, given Tony's previous performance in the what was it? The prior pay-per-view. Oh God, when Rex got his ass kicked. I think, was that Resolution? I think that was Resolution. I don't remember. It was September, no, October. So whatever that was it? Yeah, it was. It has to have been Jesus. 21 years, baby. So given Larry's, I say performance or match back at Animal House, you can see there's not much Russ, but if you look at it from one perspective, Larry is highly decorated as well. So is Tony. I think the smart money would be on Tony, but if ever anyone would buck the trend, it would be Larry. So my money's gonna go on Tony, but you never know. What's next? Bolek versus Quartz. This is another one where it's super like you can take what's happened with Quartz and his recent trajectory since the start of the season till now. It's been dicey at best, but if you look at the people who have felled him, it's pretty much a who's who of not who cares, but a who's who. So he doesn't have that going for him. But Bolek is also kind of in that same camp where he can go 50-50 also. The one thing that Bolek does have that's one of his actually strong suits, John Carter is not able to close, but Bolek is also ever resilient. Without resiliency, take it for what you will. So I want to say, just based on that, I'd go with Bolek, just for the simple fact that as aggressive as Quartz can be, Bolek can be that much more tenacious. And much like Rex, Quartz, basically you crack him, you get to the point where you can crack him, and then it's usually Dunzo Munzo. So I think Bolek will wear it down to get into that position. So I'm gonna give it to Bolek, but by a fraction of can't even say that on audio because that's probably problematic. So we'll give it to that. Dragana versus Blaine. So fun fact, Blaine was one of the few people to defeat Dragana, but that was many moons ago. I kind of want to look it up now, so I can get my date right. Let me see. Blaine, when was the defeat of Dragana? It was a while ago. Jesus, is it even here? Oh my goodness. Where the hell is it? No, actually, we can do head to head. Yeah, sorry for the, mild break. Yeah. Wow, this was 2019, season 14, Clash 2019 for the OCW World Women's Championship. Oh, this is a championship. Oh, Jesus. I don't even remember Blaine being a women's champion. Oh, goodness gracious. So, yeah, so the last time these two met was in 2019, and Blaine defeated Dragana. That's season 14. So, season 14 Dragana is not season 20 Dragana. So, that being said, keep it a buck, keep it 100. We're going Dragana. Can't really go wrong with Dragana, in my opinion. Just basically Brock Lesnar with, So we'll leave it like that. Or maybe even Gunter. Gunter from Serbia, but a lady. Nice. Anyway, sorry for the noises. We got Emp versus Devin Flash. All I can say is that it's big match boo for a reason. That being said, however, if you were to speak to Emp directly, she will lose every match. Just for the sake of support, I'll keep it straight to the middle. I say Emp, but only because it's a slight bias, and only because I've seen, like, I've did this song and dance of I'm gonna lose, and then they don't. And it's very strange. So I'm only going with that just because of my previous experience since May. You look at, B17, you look at Quartz, you look at Gonzalo, you look at B17 and Quartz together. This season, you look at Heather Angela, you look at Terry the Tourist. Like, there's losses in that record book, and maybe not a human highlight reel, but when it comes down to it, Emp usually puts it down. And also, that's boo. No disrespect to Devin Flash, but then you never know. Devin Flash may again destroy the OCW economy and shock the world. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe everybody just be on Devin Flash. Good for Devin. I don't know. So I'm going with boo, but that's biases. That's the biasness. So take that as you will, as you prefer. We got Max Edwards and AC Cobra, OCW title. So the easy money would be Cobra, right? And I would not fault you if you would agree to say Cobra. Obviously not. However, the thing with Max Edwards is that he is best when he is behind. He's a good chaser. So the whole stuff, now we're going to mix a little bit of it. So the whole crux of it now is that, he has this, it's not even a streak, because streak requires 3. So he's come up short in the last 2 outings, one against Cobra at Animal House, and then one against, oh shit. I apologize if I forgot who the fuck also did it, but it be like that. I'm so sorry. I'm not looking right now. I'm just going to go with the frame of conscious. Either way, I apologize to that person. I don't. It's not clicking. For that, Cobra also has the 2 monumental wins. So they're kind of on 2 different ends of the spectrum. I think, and I'm not going to go as far as say is, oh, it's on a pay-per-view. No. I think that when the chips are down, when it matters most, that's when Max will rise to the occasion. So the Vegas odds are probably going to go to Cobra, and that would be respectfully so, because you couldn't make this son of a bitch more organically, like big bad numero dos. Like, even the next cup segment, everything is just happy accident making Cobra look like a fucking star. Good for him. I like it. Some people want to try to force it, but his stuff is happening organic. It's nice to see. So I think Max takes it when it counts, when it's all on the line, because that's for the gold. And I think he retains the OCW championship. And at that point, we will have 1-1 and you gotta get that tiebreaker. But you never know what happens with the next cup. Maybe Cobra wins, and then he wins the next cup as well, and he has it in his back pocket because fuck it, evil. I don't know. Or maybe he comes up short against Max, and then he wins the next cup, and then he's like, "Law, bitch, fight me on Monday." Like, you know, you don't know. So that's the exciting part that it could be. Chaotic and exciting, I don't know. But right now, I'm gonna say that at the 21-year anniversary, Max Edwards takes it. And proves why he is the OCW champion. Very exciting times right now. I love it. Very exciting time for both OCW and CCW. Very excited to see where these goes. But yeah, my money's on Max. I'm sure the odds will be on Cobra. And I think that's everybody. If I by any chance left your match out, sorry. It's like 14 of them. It's a lot. So that's my diatribe. Thank you so much for listening. And we'll see you Saturday or Sunday. I don't know. It's time to call matches, I guess. I hate everything. Bye. Have a good night or evening or morning. Enjoy your tea, crumpets, or steak. I don't know. Okay. No, my miss.